And we are back. Black and a Half. Episode number 144.
144.
All right. I am one of your hosts, Silas Lindenstein.
I'm the other one of your hosts, Samantha Rund.
And this is another edition. We are back. This is our first episode of 2021.
Yes.
We're back. We took last week off to celebrate with our friends and family. Of course not. We were alone in our homes. But we took the week off to rejuvenate and get ready for a wonderful year of hosting, and who knows what else will happen this year. I don't know.
Hopefully good things.
Hopefully lots of good things happen to you. I don't know. I don't got anything going on. I'm boring. I don't know what Samantha has going on, but except this podcast. We're gonna nail this podcast this year. Today's episode, we chat a little about art. We chat about the movies that just came out, Wonder Woman and Soul. That's not one movie. That is two separate movies. But I would see a movie called Wonder Woman and Soul. It was Wonder Woman 84, the sequel to the hit from a couple of years ago, and Soul, the new Pixar film. So we interview that. We discuss that, and we share our thoughts and feelings about those films. Today's episode, brought to you by Silas Gets Real, and his podcast. Well, Silas Lindenstein. That's me, Silas Lindenstein. It's brought to you by my sister podcast, You're Buying a Home with Silas Lindenstein, hosted by Silas Lindenstein of Boutique Brokerage. I've switched firms, and I'm now with Boutique Brokerage, and you can listen to my podcast. It's all about how to buy a home anywhere in the nation, and listen to that podcast. And if that's something you are looking to do, if you're in the Seattle area, but you can email me at silas@blackandhalf.com, and I could be your real estate agent, the coolest one you'll ever have. It's also brought to you by
Beyond Technique Coaching. So if you're looking for a coach to help you with performance skills, for your voice, body, and mind, to help you in life and work, auditions, interviews, all that good stuff, you can always email me at beyondtechniquecoaching@gmail.com. And you could check out my, the brother podcast to his sister podcast over at Beyond Technique with me, Samantha Rund, if you want to hear other performance talk and stuff like that.
Yeah. And a big thanks to our Patreons. Thank you for all your support. Our Patreon subscribers, Tara Widener, Keith Nagel, Stephen Ward, and Tara Widener. Did I already say her name?
You did. You did.
Tara and I, Stephen Ward, Keith Nagel. I'm missing their fourth one. I didn't write it down. Thank you to all of them for supporting this show. You could become a member of the League of Extraordinary Listeners. Go to patreon.com/blackandhalf. And also go like and review this podcast on Apple Podcasts. It helps us immensely. But right now, I just want you to open your hearts and open your ear holes and listen to episode number 144, Wonder Woman 84, and a whole lot of soul.
Stand by to receive our transmission. Stand by to receive our transmission. Stand by, stand by, stand by, stand by.
Join us. Impressive. Fuzzball. Join us. Impressive. Join us. Impressive. Fuzzball.
Live long and prosper and prosper and prosper and prosper and prosper.
What?
The most interesting things you don't want to talk about.
These people don't know me.
Exactly.
I guess.
I know you.
Okay, I guess. I guess I could talk about it.
What? Like, I don't know why you don't think you're an interesting person.
No, it's not that. I don't think I'm. It's not that I don't think I'm interesting. It's just that I feel like it's strange to give personal information to strangers.
stand-up comedian
Uh-huh.
wonders
you know.
why it's strange to give personal information. Is it because they're
Oh,
not
no.
drinking in a bar?
No, I don't wonder why. I'm just saying that, like, I'm not, like, if I know you, I've met you, or like I talk to you in person, I get a vibe like you're somebody I can talk to. Okay, I'll tell you things, but I generally like dole out different pieces of information depending on who you are to me.
You don't get personal on stage? I think you get personal.
No,
on stage.
I do. Yeah, I do. But it's like I'm just.
You don't know the level of the person that is listening.
It's not even just that as much. It's like there are certain things I don't talk about on stage, right? But then at the point when I do talk about it on stage, I know that I'm choosing to talk about it for a point.
Is there, do you have a line that you've said, oh, on stage, I will not talk about this stuff?
I mean, not specifically. It's just like, you know what? I think it's kind of a weird thing for, like, I'm trying to translate it to you because I know you're a much more open person than I am.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I feel like I'm much more like, oh, if you think about information with me, like levels of a video game,
okay,
like, yeah. Like if I just meet you, I'm not going to give you access to all those levels of information.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, it's strange to me to like, and that is something I've had to work on in stand-up is like, because a lot of the jokes that I like that other comedians do are vulnerable and are they're giving me information about their lives, and I love that stuff, but I don't always love to share that stuff.
It's probably better to be on. Did you hear that? No. Okay.
Oh, I heard that now.
You heard that part. Okay.
That one.
That's fine.
Yeah.
I'll turn that to. Okay. It's probably better to be on your side of not giving up, as opposed to some of the disgusting things people talk about their personal, like, sanitary things they do on stage. Like, they talk about it. And I'm like, well, at first I was like, oh, they're just being shocked. And then I realized, oh, they actually do that. I don't want to know.
Well, yeah. I mean, everybody has like different levels of things they want to talk about in general, even off stage though, too.
I wish people would realize there's different levels that we want to hear.
Right.
But like, I think things about your relationships and family, those are very fascinating to people. And I get people want to hold in something for themselves. I will say there's stuff I do not talk about with Gretchen about my relationship with her, because I know that she might get upset if she went. There's some things I say that I think would upset her if she knew. If she heard,
right, or you'd want to run it by her first and make sure it was okay to say on stage.
Look, if I think I need to run it by her, I probably shouldn't say it.
Well, because I feel like any joke that I would say about my fiance,
oh
or
gosh.
I know
It's
I said it,
now.
I said it, and I realized I was like flashing the ring earlier.
Whoa.
But I realized, but like even in the past, like when he was my boyfriend or my previous boyfriend or whatever, I would ask them like, hey, I'm thinking about like trying this joke out, and this little bit's about you. What do you think? Like I'd like to ask for permission first, and I'd expect them to ask for permission as well.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
You
got to reciprocate that shit.
Heck yeah.
Okay. Now I know. Okay, you said like in acting.
Yeah.
Like you don't have a like not the desire, but you have no like being physical with another actor.
Like desire to do it?
I said desire was the wrong word, but like you said you didn't say you wouldn't completely, but you have lines for sure.
Yeah. Okay. You just remind me about to me, it was a hilarious conversation I had with my mom yesterday, but you continue.
My question is, do you have, like, let's say you got a scene for you're doing a film.
Yeah.
And it just said you need to kiss this person.
Yeah.
And you're auditioning. You're still in the audition process.
Uh-huh.
Would you go ask your fiance if they're cool with you doing this part?
No.
Okay.
No, because he knows I'm an actor, and like he's already been to like one of my plays where I did have to like jump on an actor and kiss them, like, and that was awkward for me, but I mean I did it.
But he was turned on, right? Like he was like,
oh, totally. I mean, he proposed right then. He interrupted the play to like get down on his knees and be like, my turn forever. No. that I don't know. Maybe that's what he's thinking. No. But no, because he like, that's already a given about like, I'm a professional actor. These are things that I have to do sometimes. It's not like, I'm not like.
Okay. So he trusts that if you're not comfortable doing it, that he's comfortable with anything that you're basically comfortable doing anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything that he'd be uncomfortable with, you probably wouldn't do anyway.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I feel like generally I would become uncomfortable first, potentially.
Okay.
Like, I think I even asked, I asked
like,
him,
hey,
I was like,
you're getting paid, whatever. Right.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. And also, I mean, he knows I'm trustworthy, but because I think, who was it? Which actor? Really hot actor. And I was like, hey, what if I got a movie with that guy and they made me make out with him? Would you be at set every day? Like, oh, and he's like, no. I'd be like, make that money.
If you're in that, yeah. If you're in a scene with that dude, you're getting paid a lot. So
yeah, that'd be great. But it's so funny because, okay, I was watching this show and I'm not going to say what it was right now because I don't want to
upset the producers and then you don't get
No, it's not that. I don't want to hurt somebody's feeling by like calling them ugly.
Okay.
On this. Like, that's not a nice thing for me to
we'll put
say.
that in your biography. Yeah.
Terrible. But there's this one show I was watching. This actor is very unattractive, which honestly bothers me mostly because he's supposed to be all cute and like he's always like puckering his lips to try to get kisses from his wife and like look at me. And I'm just like, oh. But if he was playing a different character, I wouldn't be like hating on that. I was just like, ew, why do I have to watch this? Yeah.
Okay.
And so I was calling my mom about it and she was just like, oh my gosh, I know. And I was thinking, that woman, how does the actress do it? How does she kiss him? Like, you couldn't pay me enough money for that. And I said, yeah. She's like, you couldn't pay me enough money. And I was like, yes, you could.
Do you know what the residuals are, Mama?
Well, I was like, it's not like I ever want to go in and make out with somebody I don't know anyway. But like, if you got to be in that kind of caliber of a thing.
Yeah, but I know,
ever.
I know Jennifer Aniston now, pretty much.
You do?
Basically, from watching her in many shows.
Oh, yes, definitely.
So I know them.
You know her.
Yeah.
If they look like they had a disease, I wouldn't want to kiss them. That would be hard. There's a few actors that I think are really amazing, but I'm like, what are they going to give you?
I think it's like,
that's not science, but it is.
Your day could have been spent worse.
Well, it could always be worse
than having to do this, the love scene with some celebrity. Hey, speaking of love scenes with celebrity. Sort of. Transitioning into like, we both saw a couple movies over. You did see both, right? You saw both of them? Okay. So if you just alert as people are coming into this, we're talking about Wonder Woman and Soul. Okay. Yep. I'll try to put it in the show notes on when we stop and when we're talking about it. But Wonder Woman.
Yep.
I need to write up my review on it, my official one. But so Wonder Woman came out, as everyone knows, streaming because hardly anyone can go to the theater. So it was in the theaters, some places, I don't know where, Idaho. And then like here, we streamed it. I mean, I guess it's not new watching an action movie on a TV screen. I would have liked to see it on the big one. Well, overall, did you like that film?
Overall, I did.
Did you? Well, like,
yeah, I know there was. I know there was a lot of controversy about it. About like lots of people being like, what a letdown and blah blah blah. And I was looking forward to hearing your thoughts on it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I really was. Yeah.
I liked it. I think the bar is too high for a lot of superhero things. Um, here's what I'm more bothered by people. Okay, I'm about their attitude toward these films in the superhero genre. DC. Oh, I enjoy all the Marvel movies. I think they're fun. They're they're great popcorn going out. But I feel like DC tries to bring some heart into their films and some emotion and have it to be more than just let's run to the next place and save that person and then run over here and kill and destroy that city block, whatever. They try to do something, and I felt like Wonder Woman was trying to have a lot of heart in it, and it was trying to delve into the idea of, like, besides just Peter Parker going like, oh, I wish Mary Jane would love me, like it tried like, oh, a woman was yearning for a lost love that she lost, like the only love she had, and people just like are shitting on that. Like, how, first off, you can't tell me you can't complain that Wonder Woman is cheesy. Okay? You can't. You know it is about a woman that has a golden lasso that makes people tell the truth. Right? You know that she flies around in an invisible jet. You know that she like stops bullets with her like with her like wrist guards. Like, there is so much she's dressed like in this like American like red, white, and blue outfit, though she's from the Amazon, so it has nothing to do with America. We know all this. It is cheesy as hell by the nature of it. So I don't buy the like, oh, it was so cheesy. Like, I fucking pick up a comic book. That's what they are. I do, yes. Plot holes that I could drive a semi truck through that were like, you can't do that. Like, I just don't like in superhero movies when I will buy anything, and just minor spoilers here, but like, you cannot fly a jet from Washington, D.C. to Egypt without refueling midair.
I like that.
First
that's
of all,
the part.
That's the thing that bothered me.
Because everything else you can do.
If she had said, hey, my magic lasso around this thing basically produces power that allows it to fly, and I don't need gas, I'm like, I'm down with that. All right. But with no explanation, you damn well need to explain why you can do that, and I'm fine. I don't care if it's magic, weird fake science. I don't care why. Like, it's just give me a reason.
Yeah.
But just doing it like, Steve, come on, you, or whatever his name was, you should know you can't fly that far. So she should explain it to you why you can't. So,
see, and well, the thing for us about that, we weren't noticing about the gas, but we were like, well, just because he's a pilot doesn't mean that he would know how to fly a plane like so many years in the future. That's like built differently.
Oh, you totally can't.
Like,
they are so
right?
different.
You know, yeah, that's what we're like, but
at least
we're like, whatever.
That couple seconds he took to figure out, like, oh, what's that control? What's that? Okay, yeah, I got this now.
Right.
Look, if I believe the Men in Black can learn how to fly, that Will Smith can learn how to fly an alien ship and dock it in the mothership and then leave when he was just an Air Force pilot, I will believe anything about flying. Like, I had a reason.
Somebody, like, some of the things people were like, somebody was like so upset that she was wearing wedges instead of heels. And I'm like, are you serious? Like, who cares? If I don't know if they were serious or not. And then, yeah, I guess I did see the other Wonder Woman, but it's been a while since I've seen this. It's not like I remembered a lot of it. So I wasn't going into the movie with high expectations of like, I wanted it to be like mind blowing. No, I just wanted to enjoy it. And I thought there would be like a good message in it. And there was, and I did enjoy it.
What was the message for you?
For me, it was just, coming down to the truth, really. Like, that's ultimately it boils down to the truth.
Okay.
What about for you?
So that's why I wanted to write my review first.
Okay.
To think about it. I think the films. Well, okay. What I tend to think about the lesson. I'm trying to think of the lesson of the film. I feel like the is okay in the beginning. It was set up by her as a Amazon,
Mhm.
as an Amazon girl. She was denied something.
She.
I think the lesson of it is just because you wish for it doesn't mean you deserve it.
That's interesting. Yeah. Well, so that's, I guess, like to elaborate on the truth is that if you aren't in line with the truth, you're going to hurt yourself or somebody else. Ultimately yourself, right? And so
Yeah.
that was the thing with like well, we have spoilers, but like the cheating in the beginning, and then I think that goes in line with you saying just because you wish it doesn't mean you deserve it. It's like just because you wish it, if it's not in line with like the ultimate truth or your ultimate truth, it doesn't mean that you should have it, or that if you get it, that it's not going to just destroy you and everything you care about. Yeah. Oh, but did you have more on that?
No.
I did see one article, which I didn't read the whole thing, but the premise of it was this was one complaint about the film that I hadn't thought of. They really didn't like the body
switching.
The body switching.
Yes.
And they said that kind of played into the like 80s sort of rape.
It was called
like
It was called Wonder Woman 84.
Right. But I mean, like, that's not something I thought. I mean, I did kind of think of it, but I wasn't really thinking of it because the movie's like such an alternate like thing. But
he took the form. Okay, this is minor spoiler, but this is how they brought back the character that died in the first film, right?
Mm-hmm.
He was brought back and he's inside of another person.
It was like a ghost.
He took over the body.
It was like a longtime ghost without the Whoopi Goldberg.
Right, but he took over the body, like Patrick Swayze. Yeah. Now, people are upset because they fooled around with the body. But the thing was, she didn't know. First, she didn't know who it was. Like, she knew that did not look like him, but she knew it was him. It was him for sure. So.
But it wasn't his body.
It wasn't his body, but it could have been permanent for all she knows. So what? They never can't have a life, but it was the person. I don't know. I think it's complicated. I don't think it's as simple as, I mean, first of all, you're having to buy into the whole thing. And I thought I thought it was wonderful the way they transformed it and did the shots and made you understand what's going on. But I just think that it was, I think it's just it's not this black and white, like she was just banging some dude whose body was being possessed, like, and taking advantage of him. There was no malice. They didn't understand what was going on. And then they went to solve it. And maybe there wasn't enough like thought about this guy's, well, what about the guy's body I'm in? Like, they didn't really do that. But I don't know. I think that's a little.
I just thought it was an interesting point of view. It's something I hadn't really thought of. You know?
But is that, look, there's a lot of like movies that kind of blew aside date rape in the 80s, right? So there's a lot of movies that were
right, but we're not in the 80s anymore.
Yeah. No, but I'm saying those were bad. Like, it was bad then, it's bad now and stuff.
Yeah.
But those were like real.
Well,
this is a completely astroplane dimensional.
True, it is.
Doesn't really send a bad. Nobody is going to be confused later going like, I don't know, is it okay for me to have sex with this woman who is actually possessed by my ex-wife, or my like deceased wife is in this woman's body? Yep, I think it's okay because I saw Wonder Woman. No, this has no bearing on it. It does not translate to anything.
I don't know. You might be surprised how often that happens. You know, like
it doesn't translate to our real life.
Well,
in
yeah,
any
I mean, the
way.
question they had was like, if you're suspending disbelief and changing the rules of the universe and blah, blah, blah so much, why couldn't he have just come back? Why did he have to come back into somebody else's body? See?
I don't fucking know.
I thought that was, yeah.
Well, they could have. Would have been.
Right.
You know why? Because people would have said that's super lame.
Really?
They absolutely would have. Inhabiting other people's bodies is a common occurrence in superhero worlds. People do it all the time. But you don't just reappear from the dead. Like, oh, look at me. This is not Dallas.
I don't know. They could have had this whole like zombie thing where he gets out of the grave and
Yeah,
then he
they could
goes
have done
like
that.
they could have done a makeover montage.
Yeah.
You know,
'Cause he's
gets
just
like
a
face
skeleton at that
treatments, gets
point.
all of his skin back, you know, a whole thing.
Yeah, I think it's looking for things to be upset about. To be upset about this superhero film that the guy took over someone else's body and he had, first of all, that guy, it's like he would have been happy if he woke up in the middle of that. He'd have been like, this is the best day of my life. Who are you?
Maybe. But you know what I was like? I was kind of like, who is this guy? And I hope he's not married. Because I was wondering, I was like, what if he was like in a relationship or something?
That would have been interesting.
Terrible. But one thing I did notice, which I get like the aesthetic of like they want everybody to look the same, but on that island of Wonder Woman,
Oh, the
I
wonderful
forget the name of the island.
Yeah.
Wonderful island where she was. Yes, they had like different like skin colors and this and that, but pretty much everybody was the same body type.
Well,
and
yeah,
I know
they're all you have to do.
I know, but I'm just saying it would have been kind of nice to see some variety. Some like body shape variety on an island of women warriors.
I look, all they have to do, look, I guarantee if they stop working out every day, if they had like sugar, if they had a television, there'd be different body types. But I think if the only thing they have to do is work out all day, I'm guessing everyone's going to look like the Greeks did.
Well, I mean, it's just one of those things.
It's
not like everybody who works out looks exactly the same anyway.
You know, it's also like an imaginary, like, I don't know what Greek god created all the Amazon women, but I don't think that they were like, you know what? I want to make sure I represent all the sizes. They were created.
You have to have all the sizes.
They created warriors. They were supposed to all be warriors.
Yeah, but how many warriors do you see look like that?
How many warriors do you see? How many people in the military do you see? You don't see military people all different.
Yeah, no, you don't, but you generally see them with a little bit more meat on their bones. Like, nothing against the women that they did cast. I'm just saying, like, they're supposed to be highly athletic, and all of them are like rail thin.
They're not going to cast real athletic people in these athletic roles. No. You gotta be. No, just pretend you're athletic. Though I will say Gal Gadot is really.
Well, yeah, no, I bet all of the they probably all were. Well, yeah, they probably all were athletic, but they're all that particular athletic body type. My point was simple. It's an island full of women. Why not diversify it a little bit more?
I don't know. They're Amazons. It's in the genes. Haven't you ever been to the Amazons? They all look.
I feel like that's kind of a male answer. And no, I haven't. I've never been to the Amazons.
Yeah.
Or the Amazon.
I'll say this. I don't watch movies for people to look like me. Soul.
I was going to say, which is good because there aren't very many movies like that.
Yeah.
You would not be able to watch very many movies.
One actually, did it this summer. Hey, the movie Soul also came out on Christmas Day by, wait, Wonder Woman. Love it? Do you love it? Did you like it?
I liked
Did you
it.
lose it?
No, I liked it.
Okay. I liked it too. I'll give it a like it. That's what I did.
Yeah.
For my
I like the system.
You like this?
Yeah.
Okay. Then the movie Soul, a Disney Plus movie. Well, it was supposed to come out this summer. New Pixar film, and so it got screwed by COVID, like everything else in the world did. What the big thing
One
about
person
it,
every 17 minutes.
huh?
I know. I just major downer right then.
What? 17?
Like one person every 17 minutes in LA County right now.
Oh, is dying.
Yeah.
Yep. So Soul is
Yeah.
a movie about somebody who dies, and it's about what happens to their soul, kind of.
Mhm.
It's about a black man. It's one of the first black leads in a Pixar film, and also some body taking over in this film. So
Right.
there's a theme. Just nobody had sex with him.
I was just going to say that, but
it's a Pixar film.
There was no sex.
Look,
but there was another questionable thing that happened, which we can get to later. An article that pointed out something to me that I hadn't thought of, and then later was like, interesting point.
I think a lot of the articles written about this complaining were whiners that had not seen the film and did not give it a chance and made judgments before they saw it and then tried to hold on to them even though they were wrong.
We might not be talking about the same
article. Be. A lot of people complaining about the film that there's a trope where when there's a black lead character, they get transfigured into something else, whether it's an animal or whatever. And this person was being transformed into a soul of sorts that you didn't see. But that's before they saw the film, and the person is a black person. There's a black person in it. There's a black male figure. 50% of the movie.
Right. I'm just saying I thought it was an interesting point. It's nothing that I thought while watching the movie, and I'm jumping ahead to tell you that I loved the movie.
Yeah.
Like 4 thumbs up. I'm going to have to borrow an extra 2 to give it 4.
Okay.
But when I read the article, I thought, well, that is interesting. Like that happened then, and Princess and the Frog, and there's not very doesn't often happen on other. So you know,
it happens. It's a thing that happens in a lot of Disney.
Well, I just thought it was an interesting point.
Yeah, Beauty and the Beast was about an entire castle of people who were transfigured.
That's true, but the main character stayed looking like herself the whole time.
Yeah,
Cinderella stays looking like herself the whole time. You know,
right? But I'm saying transfigured ones. Here's the thing. Yeah, but it's a trope and it's bad. However, I researched this film. Did you know that the character was not written as a black person originally?
It was written as a soul.
They didn't really think about it. They were just writing a story.
Well, that's good.
They slowly developed into a black person, and actually, once they decided it was a black person, it was brought up. This trope was brought up to them that they had never realized, and so they're like, "Oh shit, we need to and let's get the black experience out there." I believe the director is black, I believe, but he had other black. They had like a black forum come in to share their experiences and to help develop his character, because he said black people are all not me. Like they have different thoughts and stuff, so we should really have someone besides me involved in this. And so he did. So this film basically had black consultants about being black.
And the lead animator, right? Wasn't the lead animator a black female?
Maybe.
Or am I getting
possibly? That could be.
He's confused.
There was so much thought put into this and about the percentages, and originally there was only they actually most of the film the person was supposed to be in the soul land. They added way more to the human part than they ever intended to, but that was actually even before they decided that they would be black. The character would be black. It was nice that they weren't this didn't start from you know what we should do? We should make a black film. No, they just thought of a nice story and thought, hey, what if he's a music teacher? What if he's black? He's a black music teacher. How about that? And then developed him from there rather than just going out to like, we got to get the black market. No, not that market. They didn't want to just diversify. They actually was like story first, and I really liked that.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I felt like. What you loved it. What was the what were the three shining things about it for you?
Three shining things. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, what made this movie great?
Well, I mean, I don't know. I'm off the cuff here. I don't know if I'm going to get down to three right now, but I loved how deep it was. Like it had so much in it. It had just so many layers and just the other thing is like it did have a lot of soul, but that's all right. And a lot of that deep truth, maybe it had a lot of lassos.
A lot of deep state truth.
Right. And I really enjoyed seeing like the animation was great. And also some of it was animation that I hadn't seen before, the way in which it was done.
Right.
So I like that it was like inventive too. I like, because it is so layered. Like you could watch it with every member of your family and each enjoy it and have your own experience.
Mm-hmm.
It definitely seemed like one that's like not just for kids, definitely for adults too. Yeah. So I mean, those were some of the things.
How do you judge acting in a? Can you judge acting in the Pixar films? Like, I have a hard time with like deciding, was this best actor worthy?
Well, I mean, I think do they do that for voice acting?
Not in like the Academy Awards.
I mean, because I feel generally whenever I see something with like animation with a bunch of voice actors, I mean, you have to be so on your game that it's just, it's always so solid.
I don't think people realize how hard it is.
Right. Yeah.
Like I've tried doing little things, just little voice things, and it's hard to like, especially when you're alone and everything.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of the lonelier ones. You don't have anyone to act off of. Like you're just doing the script. Usually nowadays is my understanding.
Nowadays.
In the 2121s.
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to I really liked the actor. I actually didn't realize it was I didn't know it was Jamie Foxx.
Oh.
That was delightful when I found out it was him.
Yeah, I was trying to guess some of the voices, and I did guess some. I think his I looked up, or we looked up, but I guessed a couple other ones, and it was good. They were really good.
Yeah, no, I would say I loved the film. What do you think the ultimate lesson? What was a lesson you learned from it? Did you learn anything from it?
Well, there were a few things that stood out, like, everybody's trying to find their purpose so much. And then that one line where one of the characters, I'm being so vague, the kid, the newbie, is like, I found my purpose. Just like looking at leaves or experiencing this. And they're like, that's not a purpose. That's just regular old living. And I thought like that line really got me because, man, don't people take for granted regular old living?
Yeah.
And so I love that sort of just the conversation of, well, what's the meaning of life? What is your purpose? And how important is that idea of your purpose? Do you actually have a purpose, or it's what you make up your mind is your purpose? And if your purpose gets in the way of regular old living, then, what do you gotta recalibrate things a bit. And the other thing that I just loved that blew my mind was like, of course, is when they were in that like other worlds and they had people who were like in the flow and it didn't matter what they were doing, like if they were an athlete or a singer or acting or whatever, they were just in that flow. So they were in that other like plane. And then on the lower level of that same plane were these like the souls had like turned into these big creatures or whatever, and they were lost souls because they'd become so focused on one thing. But it was the opposite of being in the flow of the focus.
Yeah.
It was like they were disconnected from life because they were so obsessed with that one thing. And I love that because I have to say, like, as an artist,
Oh yeah.
like, I mean, it's such a great way to explain how I feel like so many of us feel. Either like you feel like so joyous and everything when you're in the flow of doing what you want to do, but then when you're not getting to do it, you can get so like cut off and stuck in like obsessing about like, I need to be doing this. I need to be doing this. Why isn't this happening? Blah, blah, blah. And you like just cut yourself off in this way. And I thought that was an awesome way of talking about it. In all of these different levels, of course, but that's the one that like, that was my sort of personal takeaway from it.
For me, I said, don't, the lesson is don't miss your life while trying to pursue it. That's sort of like, and it's hard to watch any of these movies about artists and anything and not feel like it's a personal attack. Sort of like you're like, yeah, like boy, we just make stuff for us, huh? Like it's about art, and people love it. Like, but I think my opinion is so much stuff is about art, though. Like life is a lot for me comes back to the Dead Poets Society.
Yes.
Right. That whole scene,
which I've only seen like a million times.
Yeah. The for those that haven't, we're trying to
Carpe
remember.
Diem.
Carpe Diem. It's the architects, engineers, yada yada. These are noble professions and needed, but theater, writing, poetry, love, these are the reasons we live. Like there's all these things that we do all this work to try to make the art happen ultimately. Because that's what, when the pandemic came down, that's what we pursued. And what are we missing now? What are we missing? We're missing hugs. We're missing community. We're missing fellowship from other people. Like so many people can work. And this is making people question. You're going to have a lot of people soon wondering, like, going, like, yeah, I had to work at this grocery store or whatever. God, was that worth it? Was that my life? That was worth my life? Because right now they may feel like, well, I can't go out and pursue my passions because all passions are shut down pretty much. Or like, it's hard to just go get a job somewhere. But the reasons we go day to day, I think are shining a lot stronger right now. And introspection there. I predict a renaissance of people just trying to pursue things they love after this. I think this, like, I think we're going to look at another 10 years of people going after their purpose with complete enthusiasm that we've never seen before, because it was also almost denied.
Wow. I almost feel like there could be a bit of a shift. I mean, you're saying shift, like, yes, a bit of a shift, but I feel like people who were like locked into jobs where they weren't pursuing their passion and they really wanted to, when things free up, will pursue their passion. But I think some people who have been pursuing their passion and have had to stick to survival jobs a lot are going to maybe yearn for even more security and not.
Oh yeah.
Like, I think that some people are just going to go to opposite sides a bit.
I hope they find the balance.
Right. I mean, because everybody needs a balance.
I certainly, I've ended up making another film, right? But I've also been I've been also working on financial security a little bit more, so that times like these aren't as tough. And so hopefully they'll find the balance and not completely give it up. But I think I see so many people that feel like they've been missing out, and they realize how much they loved it, that they're going to go, or if they're lucky, they've been able to find something they loved even more that they never gave a chance to, but finally this allowed them to.
Right, like baking artisan bread at home.
Yes, or
I know.
eggplant parmesan.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, I did make a face there for a second, not because I disagree with any of that, but just because we're saying when this is over, like two things. One, I'm still astonished by, and I know we talk about this like almost every week, of seeing like pictures of people I know on Facebook who are in other states and they're just like living their lives without masks and just like they're living as if there's no pandemic. And it's just like, what? And I also feel like, for me, I almost am like, I don't know when things are going to get back to a quote unquote new normal.
Uh-huh.
And when they do, like, I don't even know how I'm going to fully react because there's still like so much more information.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And how things are changing. So,
so yeah, like, so Soul basically made me think a lot about a lot of things. And I think for me, that's what a good movie should do. And so hats off to it. Loved it. You made me think about the meaning of life and what I'm doing. And I won't say what it was, but were you happy with the ending?
yeah.
Okay. I was happy with the ending too. I've heard people say like, no, that's not how it should have ended. But I was pleased with it. It was funny. God, Pixar is so good at these films, honestly. Like, it's pretty,
Yeah.
like, I wish I could just be as good at anything as Pixar is at making these films. They're just so good.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, they're more than one person.
That's true.
Spending a lot of hours on it.
A lot of hours on it. And yeah, if I went after my dreams as much as anybody at Pixar does in a work week, I'd probably be pretty good too. But I don't, because I'm lazy. And I got Netflix and Hulu and Apple TV Plus and Disney Plus and HBO Max. I consume too much.
I don't know.
And not enough drugs. No, I do enough drugs. But hey, Samantha, before my computer runs out of batteries.
That's what's happening, because I'm totally seeing a delay. So my reactions are probably really weird to you right now.
Maybe. This is great, talking about those movies. I like this. I like talking about movies that we saw and how it pertains to our life.
Did you see Ma Rainey too? I know we're not going to have time to talk about that now.
Did you see it?
I did.
I will watch that so we can talk about it next week.
Okay. I love me some Viola.
I love me some August Wilson. I love how August Wilson says, you know what about, he'll say, you know about Postman? Well, let me tell you about Postman. And then he spends 10 minutes telling a story. And at the end he goes, and that's what postmen are like. And you're like, whoa. Sometimes I saw King Hedley III at Seattle Rep when it premiered there. He's an incredible, or he was an incredible writer. Or plays are about the writing. Yeah. Okay, next week we're gonna talk about Randy's Black Bottom. So you got to check that out. Word, you got to come back. We're gonna have word on Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. We're gonna tell you who probably is winning the Senate and gonna control the White House, because that happened on a recording night and we don't know yet, but we will know next week. We got lots in store for you next week. Yo. I need to work on being black more. But
you may remember that all black people are not the same. So
that's right. We're not a monolith.
That's right.
But we all have soul.
Stand by to receive our transmission. Stand by to receive our transmission. Stand by, stand by, stand by, stand by.
Join us in Pressing. Join us in Pressing.